Hey guys, welcome back to the LoL Pro League. This is our third and final game in the match between Aces High and RoX.KIS. This is the match to determine which one of these two teams goes forward to the grand finals of LoL Pro League, fighting for that $20,000 prize pool. My name's Siglis. Joining me is Spuddington, and we're going to jump straight into Champion Select.
Yes, we are, and no surprises to see the first ban out here is the Azir. Even though Alex Ich didn't do phenomenally, he wasn't a hard carry over the course of this particular game. He's shown himself to be pretty solid on that with some great ults and control, and obviously getting that out of the way is a very, very powerful option for Aces High, who are going to be going with that Gnar pick once again. I actually think the Shen wasn't that great into that.
Yeah, I mean, the Shen wasn't doing that amazingly in lane. We gotta, of course, give him credit for the first blood kill, because Freeze did actually pick up a 1 versus 1 at the beginning there, but I do think past that point, the Shen kind of fell off a little bit in terms of the laning power, and Gnar kind of steamrolled through that. The problem was that Shen was just having really, really good global pressure on the map, which Gnar wasn't really keeping up with.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not expecting the Gangplank pick. You never know. Sivir has been taken away, though, and it looks like they are pretty much saying, come on, pick Graves.
Wow.
I mean, Aces
It's a bold move.
Yeah, like, what if they pick Caitlyn? What are you going to do? What is your answer if it's Caitlyn here?
Well, my concern isn't even just that. It's that, Graves in game 1 was in this exact same matchup. And how well did that go for RoX, Like, just because they had one good game on it, I don't think they should, necessarily lock it in instantly and kind of threaten the Ace team like, hey, pick Graves, go on.
Yeah. It's certainly weird. I don't know. It just seems like a choice to me that has far too many risks to make it worth it, especially when you could save those picks for later on. Pick your jungler there. It's not like you need to be that concerned about the counter pick directly on the jungle. It's actually interesting to note as well that we haven't seen any Lee Sin bans or picks this entire time.
It is very, very weird. And both these guys play decently, Sin, but I mean, primarily they prefer their Pantheon and Jarvan, and that's obviously why they're getting banned out. We're gonna have to remake the lobby real quick, guys. Shouldn't take too long.
Apparently we have had a disconnect there, so not entirely sure what the issue was, and didn't mean to pick Zed, was a random pick, apparently. So, it's actually interesting there, because we may have some different picks. Alex commenting that if you're going to get randomed into a champion, Zed may not be the worst one to choose.
All right, well, I think we should probably pop to a quick music break whilst we wait to get back in this champ select. We'll be back in a second, guys, for this game 3. Hey guys, sorry about that slight issue. Holy Phoenix is now back, and we're going to be getting straight into the champion select again. My name is Siglis. Joining me is Spuddington, and as I mentioned before, for anyone just joining us, this is the third game of the best of 3 in the losers bracket finals between RoX.KIS and Aces High. Winner going forth to face Thunderbot Sparta in the grand finals and fight for that $20,000 prize pool.
Yes, indeed. And it looks like we're going to be rushing through the same picks we had before, and now, of course, is where we hit the random choices in the random choice which we had before, which was the Z for Avenue, which fits him because it's one of those champions he plays a lot, the champion that's very strong, but would probably leave them with a full AD comp, which isn't necessarily something they want to be doing. So we'll see what he does go for. Syndra being available and also being one of his strongest mages is probably what we'll be seeing here.
I do like the Cinder pickup with that Gnar as well. I mean, it gives you a lot of crowd control in fights. Ari actually does a similar kind of thing, and with Vi, that is a scary level 6, man.
Yeah, it's true, but I suspect it's because they don't know what they're going up against here. You don't necessarily want to end up against some of the dangerous choices. Stuff like the Zed, stuff like the Fizz that's still open. Alex Ich, we know he can play it. We know he can play it very well.
Ooh.
And that is a statement of intent. That is saying, I am going to carry this game. Because it's actually not that fantastic of a matchup. It's not bad. Obviously, the LeBlanc doesn't really have bad matchups per se, but Ari can actually have some kind of level of counterplay if you can time your charms to catch the W and cancel it out. For instance, we saw Forbiven in the expansion tournament doing that to great effect. It can be really, really scary. And of course, she can also return fire. She's actually got the damage one-on-one to take a LeBlanc.
This has got to be scaring Aces High, though, because RoX.KIS in their 2-0 against them in the winners bracket did, I believe, bring out this LeBlanc, and they crushed pretty convincingly with it. So, also Damashka getting Elise again. We didn't really talk too much about him, but he had a lot of effect on the map.
He did, but that was something I did mention to a degree in that last game they had Azir as their mid lane. They still had Sivir, and they may choose a different top laner to ameliorate this issue, but they are going to want 4 damage in the late game. If they do not pick a very high damage top laner, and struggling to think which ones are available, something like a Rumble maybe, that could actually work very well for. But if if they pick something that doesn't have a huge amount of damage to contribute to a team fight in the late game, then RoX are basically saying, we're winning this in the mid lane and we're winning it off picks or we will lose. And it looks like they're actually going to commit to that, to mid-game picks and to catching people out and going to kills. Assuming they go for the Kassadin, that is.
I feel like Kassadin would be a good option here. Sion, maybe. They could have a bit more of a front line by picking that. Shen, we saw how well that went last time. Good at the beginning, kind of tapers off later on. I do agree with you, though, that might not be enough damage.
Yeah, that's really do not want. That is, I do not like Shen. Really don't like the Shen. It's not going to give them that much presence early. It's not going to dominate the lane. It's not going to push Gnar around, and then by doing that, create pressure from which LeBlanc and Elise and Thresh can catch people out. It's not going to be doing very much of that at all. It'll slowly apply some map pressure with the one man pushing out up top. He's not going to be able to bully out Gnar for a long time. And all it'll take, one small misstep and Aces High will come out on top of a fight against them. And it's not like there's even a really huge advantage here for RoX if they are going for picks, because you've got the Vi, you've got the Ahri, the Dark Bindings, the Black Shields, all this mobility and burst on Aces High, but they've also picked themselves a superior team fight. I don't know, it just, to me here, RoX, I just don't like their picks here.
They've given up the element of surprise with that Shen pick too, having picked it last game. Going for it again, Thaldrin's not going to die at level 4 or whatever it was, I would imagine. He knows what's coming his way. But guys, we're going to have to get into game in a second and see how it actually ends up going. This is the last game of the best of 3. This is all to play for. We'll be right back with RoX.KIS versus Aces High. Hey guys, welcome to our third and final match of the night in this LoL Pro League game. This is the losers bracket finals between Aces High and RoX.KIS. It's going to be an absolutely intense matchup. Aces High going for the same thing they went for in game one, I believe. And I don't think they're actually going to catch anything out. The ward does go down, but let's get back to the introduction. My name is Osiglis. Joining me is Spuddington, and we are going to be getting straight onto the Rift.
Yes, we are indeed. Fiery's not getting awkwardly caught out this time around and forced to take Taunt first, so I guess that'll give him a very, very small advantage as compared to last game in his lane. Maybe we're going to be seeing a 2v1. That is an option here. With the Graves Morgana, I really don't see how Severe Thresh can deal with that at all comfortably. And that might be why that early invade happened and why Aces have chosen to put that Trinket Ward up top. But looks like RoX have no intention of avoiding it, so should just be straight matchups here.
This is really, I think, one of Ace's big opportunities, actually. A Holy Phoenix is really their god-level carry. You've got Alex Ich on the side of RoX, and you got Holy Phoenix on the side of Aces. And having him in a matchup like this, where they could definitely outplay and make something happen in the early game, is gonna put them in a good position for later on.
So, obviously, both bot lanes starting with the experience, taking away the golems here, getting themselves set up. Holy Phoenix, as you say, should be a good matchup for him. And that may mean that Damashka will want to be applying maximum pressure, but it's not going to happen before minute 4. And Damashka really has a lot of places he needs to be this game, because Shen will lose out slowly in top lane. We saw it last time. There was like a 30 or 40 CS gap, even though Shen got that first kill. And that's not going to happen this time, so it's only going to get worse. Same kind of deal in the mid lane. He wants to set up LeBlanc, needs to get her fed.
Whoa, bot lane, Noxiac getting hooked in by the Death Sentence. The Ignite goes straight onto him and down onto Raxo. But now Raskin, he is pretty much full health, just chasing in here. He's out of mana. That's a big deal. Binding lands. Buckshot goes in. Heal goes down. The chase is on, but Damashka, he's coming around from the side. Aces High are out of position right now. And actually a teleport coming down to turn it around.
Where's Fiery's?
Staldrin's coming in. He picks it up. Holy Phoenix getting first blood. What a great TP coming in from Thaldrin.
Yeah, and where is Fiery's? He didn't even try to TP. Seeing Gnar doing it, he should have known. He should have known there was a fight going down in that bottom lane right there. But it was just a commitment after commitment after commitment there. Both sides trying to walk up. And in the end, it's Fiery's that lets the ball drop. Damashka, as I said, needs to be in many places on the map this game. You can see he's gone for the Chilling Smite, the Stalker's Blade, because he needs to be ganking. But that's set him behind now. He's going to be slow to hit that level 3, level 4 before he can confidently gank. And he needs to be set, like I said, he needs to be setting up Alex Ich in mid lane because he needs that LeBlanc snowballing. He needs to make sure Fiery's doesn't fall too far behind to be able to apply map pressure. And he needs Holy Phoenix to not get too far ahead. He may have shifted the priorities a bit here because with the first blood, they don't want to repeat of game 1.
Yeah, game 1 was disgusting. Holy Phoenix taking a ridiculous amount of kills early on. 3 buff start here for Theocles. He is off to a very, very nice beginning. And, you know, he might actually conversely spend a lot of time in this bot lane in order to get a repeat of this game 1. He might try and focus it out so that Holy Phoenix can get as strong as possible. You know, Avenue, especially once it gets to level 6-ish, he might be able to deal with Alex Ich by himself, just get away from those engages with the Spirit Rush. And actually, he's doing a good job putting some harass down early on anyway.
Yeah, this matchup, like I say, it should go in LeBlanc's favor, but the advantage pre-6 is minimal at best. And Avenue is not a player that you can disrespect. He is very, very solid across the board. So Alex needs, again, some jungle pressure to get that first kill, ideally. He's got level 6. He should start to win out, but for now, he's just getting shoved into his tower. And it's roughly equal, but Avenue's always going to have better wave clear.
One thing that definitely needs to be considered looking at this game is this is now RoX.KIS's 6th game in a row of the evening. There's 2 tournaments in a row that they played in tonight. They're gonna be starting to feel the pain at this point. It's difficult to actually, you know, sustain through that much high-level play and really, you know, be awake. So it's gonna be hard for them to deal with this, I think, and they need to remain steadfast. They need to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, Alex Ich, he probably got experience with this kind of thing. He lived through the... Actually, God, Moscow 5 must have been involved in the tech issues, but back at Season 2 Worlds, I'm remembering, like, the World Elite stuff, but that was CLGEU. Regardless, he's got to have experience with this kind of fatigue. The rest of his team, though, as you say, we've seen Fireys and Dimashka around, but I think this may be Raskin and Raxo's first major team in the CIS region.
If it is, you know, that this is a big deal for them. LPL is an important tournament. There's a big prize pool, $20,000. And this is to determine who's best in CIS. You know, that's the whole point of the tournament, basically. And at the moment, RoX had been looking very strong. Thunderbot Sparta had their number. They beat them in the group stages. Then they beat them in the winners bracket finals. But Aces High, you know, ever since they lost to RoX.KIS, they've been on a tear, obliterating everyone. They picked up game one in convincing fashion. Suddenly, they've started to falter a little bit in the last game. You know, they need to get their game back if they want to go for this. In top lane, Fury is getting knocked in the tower with the Gnar ultimate. Here comes Theocles, but the flash away. He might be able to turn this round. He's taking so little damage, but there we go. Theocles picking it up. The minions, though, not sure if they're going to be able to pick it up. It doesn't quite look like it, but Dimashka
do not recall
in the neighborhood looking to go onto it.
Okay, he didn't recall that. That was smart, because Dimashka was definitely heading up there. That was actually very, very high risk. They had very little idea of where Dimashka was, and he could have realistically been in that upper region. Top lane for the top lane counter gank, but as it was, and as it is, to be honest, Dimashka said he needs to be in a lot of places at once. He seems to have chosen to be in no places at all.
It is interesting that he hasn't really tried to focus for any ganks yet. Avenue getting chained up in that middle lane. Alex is just starting to do a decent amount of damage, but you know, one thing that I wanted to mention was that obviously this is do or die situation for both of these teams, right? Lose the game, you're out of LPL. Win the game, you're up against Thunderbot Sparta, fighting for the lion's share of the $20,000. Going for those risky plays if you're not feeling too confident is something that I would actually expect. You wouldn't, you know, trying to make something happen regardless of how risky it is.
He do that? Theocles is doing Dragon. I don't know if he's going to live through that.
He's going to get another passive. He's got the...
Yeah.
Yeah, just about.
Okay, fair play. I'm actually really surprised you can do that on Vi only level 5 to just solo Dragon straight up. But hey, fair play. It worked, and that's the first thing he's really done so far. But that's all he's been needing to do so far. And Golems may be a stretch too far, though. He's going to get the little one.
I mean, the fact that you get a shield whenever you use an ability is Vi is pretty useful.
Please,
and the Rangers Trailblazer... What's that?
My heart. Oh, you got it. He was like hiding out on such low health while his shield was still on cooldown, and I was thinking, oh my god, is he going to die? But no, he's fine. He's a pro. He knows what he's doing.
Golf clap for Theocles. He didn't pull a... Who was it? It was Dyrus that died to Golems? Was it Dyrus?
Well, depends how recently you're looking, because Dyrus, if you're looking well back in time, died to Wolves, and then Broken Shard died to Red. And then, God, I feel like there's been a more recent one as well, but I can't remember what it is, so that person gets off the stigma.
Everyone's had that moment, you know, where it all went horribly wrong in the jungle, so at least this was not Theocles' moment. He did manage to survive the wrath of the Krugs.
It's just when you're unfortunate enough to have it happen in a professional game that it gets awkward.
Yeah, very awkward, very quickly.
Happens more in the new jungle, of course. Just people, you know, misjudging it. But not today, and it looks like Dimashka is taking his red buff. He's level 6, and now surely he's gonna go for a gank somewhere.
Alex Ich's, Avenue's auto attack turning right after that was an interesting decision by Thaldrin. I'm not sure if he has got level 6.
Dimashka's there, though.
Jump in here and get it. But this time, this is exactly what we were talking about earlier. Dimashka is here, but he decided to go onto Thaldrin. That might have been a bad decision. He doesn't have the repel to jump onto Theocles, who is going to be able to Vault Breaker over this wall. Now Raxo in the bot lane, getting engaged onto Soul Shackles, Dark Binding, not going to be enough. Movement speed really helping out there. Death Sentence lands, but Holy thinks he's got the heal, turns around, collateral damage, picks it up. Oh man, the Dark Binding also landing onto Raskin. Can they pick this one up? Not quite. Holy Phoenix actually got very, very low there, but in the meanwhile, top lane Dimashka picking up Theocles.
Yeah, it was actually Alex Ich that got
Oh
him.
man, Stand United messing Holy Phoenix's plan up. Can he get it? He's
Oh my god!
back away.
Oh my god, he got the taunt!
The taunt! Oh my god!
Wow, the balls. Oh man, that was kind of crazy there. Raskin just living. He thought he was dead. We all thought he was dead, but Fieries has just kept him alive. And yeah, I would have mentioned before, Alex Ich was the one that caught Theocles in the jungle. Avenue was in between them, but Alex just jumped past both of them.
Oh, mid lane. Damashka's coming in. There's a teleport coming down from Thaldron, and it actually does enough to make them back away. Kind of surprised considering how low Avenue was, but now Thaldron, he's chasing. He's got the boomerang toss onto Damashka. Freeze might be able to run down here. In fact, he is teleporting down here. Thaldron, you need to get out of there, buddy. Doesn't have hop available just yet. The cocoon lands. Here comes Alex. Flash over the wall. Repel. Freeze also using the shadow dance. Where was the repel? It didn't actually follow up. Now Thaldron, he's turning around on Freeze. I don't know if that's a good decision. Hyper gonna get him out of that sticky situation. But man, so much action going down this game. Aces High seem to be coming up ahead ever so slightly so far.
Yeah, especially when we consider they've already got that dragon as well, not reflected in the goal. But this is the thing, Alex, he's got that first kill. He needs to get another one if he possibly can, and Avenue knows it. Avenue right now is so burstable. But he's got to be very careful because the supports and the junglers, they're all around mid lane. Both sides, yeah, but that still means he's got to be very, very careful about when he chooses to go in.
I like the fact that, you know, if you compare Avenue's build to Alex H's, Avenue decided to go for those 2 Doran's rings. He knows he's susceptible to that burst. That extra health is going to be really, really useful. I feel, and Theocles, though, he's coming to the top lane. Good flash away by Freeze to avoid that, though.
Yeah, they're putting a lot more pressure on this than they did last time. And actually, it's weird because Fieries is doing better as a result, it seems. He's certainly farming a little bit better, not getting zoned out nearly as hard by Thaldron. And for now, that's okay. But if we take stock now, most of the lanes are definitely going against
they're going
RoX.
in again. Gnar going down, but Freeze able to shadow dance out of there. Theocles, he is going to go on to this. He still has his ultimate, but Thaldron is so low. Theocles, he's tagging the tower. What's he doing? That's a very bad decision. Raxo in the bot lane getting engaged onto Buckshot and collateral damage. Gonna finish it up. And actually Raskin getting stunned up by the Soul Shackles at the end. Theocles, is he seriously gonna go on this? Damashka, he's coming in onto Noxiac. Gonna get bound at the last second. One more auto would be enough. Freeze falling in the top lane, but Noxiac, he is so close to dying. The Boomerang Blade and the Cocoon Holy Phoenix. He is very low, but a good Black Shield keeping him alive at the last second.
Oh, bye. Rip.
He's here to back them up and getting an easy double kill. That was almost an ace. Alex Ich was the only one left alive in that crazy fight. Aces High, this is a return to form if you look at their first game.
Yeah, it really, really is. Alex desperately looking to find a kill somewhere. Theocles knows he's there. He's going to have to back away now. And with Holy Phoenix already at 3-0, it's still not quite as terrifying as it was before, but they've got so much power already. The next dragon comes up in 20 seconds, and they're all going to be there in time.
He actually does land a good charm when he goes in, but I think this is still going to be enough damage from Alex Ich, most likely, unless Avenue gets a really good flash backwards. Actually, that might not have been the right decision to go backwards with Noxiac coming to support him. I'm kind of surprised about that decision.
Well, he was trying, I think, to mind game Alex Ich's Distort, because if he'd managed to dodge it with his flash, he might have been able to live through it, but that one was not to be. Alex just held on to it, knowing he had plenty of time. Got that kill, and yeah, gonna have to be carrying hard this game, because as I said, and I mentioned this in Champion Select, I really am not a fan of RoX's power curve as a whole.
This is a little bit of a bold dragon attempt. Obviously, Avenue isn't nearby, but I feel like the team fight and skirmish potential coming out of Holy Phoenix right now is very big, especially in a closed area like this. Thaldron's come down.
Oh my
They're
god.
all on the wrong side of the pit. The dragon actually does go towards RoX, but here comes Theocles. Freeze is teleported down as well. Where did that collateral damage go? Nowhere. Useful is the answer. Holy Phoenix, though, he is doing a good amount of damage. Buckshot going down. Raskin and Freeze very, very low. Holy Phoenix trying to turn over onto Damashka, but not Avenue. He's back in the fray. He's got more Spirit Rushes, but he doesn't use them to go in there. Maybe a little bit afraid of a death sentence turnaround. And this is certainly at least going to end up in a tower. So that is 2 kills and a tower going the way of Aces High in exchange for 2 kills and a dragon. That's a decent turnaround for RoX.KIS.
Yeah, it could definitely be worse, but it's actually going to be 2 towers because Ace is... Holy Phoenix, sorry, is going to be down there and taking that away. So building up that advantage even more. 5k on the board. Alex.KIS, yeah, he got in, got a kill. Actually put down quite a bit of AoE in the pit as well. But you don't want to be in the pit. And even Gnar with no rage, he's going to build it up pretty quick in a team fight. You don't want to be there when he's at the entrance. It's just not something that's good. And so, with all the outer towers down now, Aces High are actually the team with much greater picking potential. So RoX really need to be trying to like bait them in and try and turn it round on them now.
I do think that last fight was a little bit misleading though, because Holy Phoenix used collateral damage up the river and hit basically no one. Like he hit Alex.KIS and I believe it was Raxo in the back, but the thing is they were already out of the fight. Like the collateral damage wasn't what made them go out of the fight. If he'd used it in the pit, he would have instantly picked up the guys in the pit and then just been able to turn around and chase. He was full health. It was kind of a weird decision in my opinion.
Yeah. You're probably right on that one. I'm going to be honest, I didn't pay too much attention to what he was up to at that particular stage of time. I was just busy looking at Gnar and thinking, oh god, if he goes big, it's getting really bad in here. But on that one, yeah, definitely would have been worth it because that Graves damage right now is pretty insane. He has 4 kills. Farm advantage as well. Sivir isn't as far behind as the first game though. That does at least give them some small edge, but they can't team fight right now. They're just way too far behind. They're on their overall power curve and in terms of their straight up gold.
Raskin needs to be careful not to pull a Raskin though. If you remember, I fondly named it that after game 1, where he was up lanes he had no business being up and getting picked off again and again. He needs to be careful not to let that happen this game. I would hope he realizes that. Holy Phoenix actually getting caught out by Death Sentence, but the Flame not connecting. A little bit of hesitation there coming out of Raxo.
Yeah, a little bit tricky to get those over the wall sometimes, but nothing too serious. And definitely thinking right now RoX need to be investing in some sweepers and pinks. They've got good control over the upper jungle, but lower is where the pressure is right now from Ace.
Ooh, Alex, he's trying to go into Avenue, but he doesn't quite land the distorted chains. And as a result of that, I mean, it looks like Theocles wants to maybe go in on him here.
He could easily get it. If they get the ult down, that's a charm that follows. He'll be dead before he can W.
Does look like Damashka might be aware of this. Yeah, they've got a ward there. But the rotation coming into the middle lane from bottom might allow them to get some pressure down onto this tower, actually. Good binding in the back, too.
Damashka. Very, very dicey stuff, but because they're so much weaker right now, Ace is high. They can pressure. They know they've got this strength to push down this tower, and Fireys has to stay here. He can't be applying map pressure at top, which is where he really wants to be. He wants to be farming up and building himself up and getting the map pressure and enabling the TP plays, but he just can't. He knows he has to stay.
I mean, really, the saving grace for RoX right there, I feel like they got outmaneuvered, but because Thaldrin was in that period of time after you go into Mega Gnar where you're kind of tired and you can't do it again, they weren't able to maybe go for the dive. I actually think they might have been able to pull off there. Theocles actually getting hit by Death Sentence, so good Black Shield stopping it. Now Damashka getting turned back around onto Alex. The AoE is huge, but he gets shot down by Holy Phoenix, who didn't take any of the brunt force there. Damashka running away inside. He is very, very low. Stand United coming in, but not able to finish up. Can they jump onto him? It might be a possibility here, actually. You know, he needs to be a little bit careful going that close to Theocles right now, I would argue. But everyone living on the side of Aces, this is what I'm talking about. They've definitely got the potential to go for a dive with that Mega Gnar. Without it, maybe not so much, but right there we saw just how strong they are.
Yeah, and we've also seen a big problem for RoX. Their AoE consists of Sivir and of LeBlanc, and both of them are too squishy to survive if they're in range to use it. That is a big, big, big problem if you're trying to come back. Because normally when you're trying to come back, you don't necessarily want to team fight if you can, but you at least need to have some kind of team fighting presence. So if the enemy engages on you, you can still function. They can't function in that scenario. That was an engage they created, and they still came out well behind. Now, Raxo, Alex.KIS stuck in the bot lane. They need utter vision control over their own jungle, and this is their small opportunity to take it. But I'm not sure if they can even create any picks from it.
I want to talk a little bit about item builds here, because Graves just went back with 2,600 gold. He had a Zeal and an Infinity Edge, and he finished up a Phantom Dancer and picked up a Vamp Scepter. So not going for the static Shiv that we used to see a lot from Graves, not going for an early Yomu's Ghostblade or anything like that. Instead, going for this Phantom Dancer. What do you think about that build?
Well, the primary reason is the Phantom Dance. Actually, wait, hang on. We're on Tournament Realm. Oh, no, it was, okay. I'm not sure if the changes to Phantom Dancer went through on this patch.
I think they might have, actually.
Because certainly it got buffed.
Yeah.
And even if it hasn't actually gone through on this patch, that might just be what he's used to building now. Certainly, unless you have a very good reason to get that, to need that spike of damage on the Shiv, like for wave clear, then you're going to want to be running the Phantom Dancer now. It just gives you more damage overall. But, yeah, I'm not sure I'm a fan of the Vamp Scepter, but it does help keep him alive.
Holy Phoenix just quick drawed onto that tower. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see Alex just go to burst him. And he might do it now, though. Look at where Holy Phoenix is standing. He needs to be very careful. Good Black Shield deterring that, however. He is playing very, very ballsy right now.
Yep. Proving very, very tricky. I mean, Holy Phoenix is always playing ballsy. Like, that's just his whole mentality. And once again, we're in a game where he's doing well and has the strength to back it up. But is it going to get him caught out? Because that's really the only hope right now for RoX. Catch someone out doing something they shouldn't be. As long as Ace just play it methodically, slowly, they will suffocate the life out of RoX.
And actually, they're putting a lot of damage onto Freeze here. I don't think they can straight up dive him, but with that pressure on him, they might be able to go for another one of these sieges. Thaldrin, he's well on his way to going Mega Nard. This is a good opportunity for them to go for a dive, actually, especially with that binding landing. Look at the burst from Holy Phoenix, but he actually gets taken down quite low as well.
Oh, no.
He's going in. Can he get a big ultimate? Not quite. Alexich couldn't find Holy Phoenix, and that really is not good for RoX.KIS. If they can't pick up Holy Phoenix straight away, things are going to go south very quickly. Ace Side is letting him lifesteal off these minions too, making it even harder for him to get picked up in the near future.
They are in such trouble right now. They cannot hold their towers, they cannot team fight, they cannot create picks, and they cannot find a team fight that they can win from a good engagement. It just... There's no objectives to sneak even. Like, there's just no options.
Stand United! Plus the distortion brings Shen right in. Gets a great taunt, actually. Holy Phoenix very, very low in the side. Can he survive? Not quite. RoX turning this around nicely. Freeze
God damn it.
able to fall. Thaldrin, he is about to turn to Mega Nard. Turning around is not a good option. I thought he was going to do it. He just ended up throwing out a boulder, but the inhibitor still fell there, so that was definitely not bad for Aces. There's a... Oh, Damashka! Is he going to burst? What? Thaldrin didn't follow that up at all. Got Cocoon. Now Alexich, he's going in onto Thaldrin.
Oh, man!
But Avenue, he's coming in. He's getting big damage down. Not quite able to get Alexich, so nearly actually picking up a triple kill. Had those spells landed a little bit better.
Yeah, that was so close to being an incredible play. But as it happens, doesn't really matter. Caster's Curse, though, of course, I was just saying it was impossible for RoX to find a good engage, and they did manage it with the LeBlanc, with the Stand United shield, and Shen engage, and the fact that aces were really low. But it still doesn't change my opinion of the situation. Yeah, that was a minor gain from them, I guess, in that they got some gold back, but they still lost the inhib. They now have a map pressure disadvantage, and there won't be low health bars like that again. It will not happen from aces. Unless they're really dumb, in which case it will, but it shouldn't.
The only reason, I mean, they were such low health is because they saw the opportunity for the inhib, and that was a worthy trade for them. They didn't end up losing a Baron. They didn't end up losing in a tower, it looks like. So really, there is no downside for Aces High there. They're willing to trade the kills for that in order to put some pressure down elsewhere. And I think, you know, in order for that kind of scenario to happen again, they'd have to make a mistake like they're saying. They'd have to go for maybe another dive on an inhibitor, which with one down, I don't think they need to do. Or they'd maybe have to go for a Baron attempt, something like that. I definitely don't think it's the right call for Aces. I don't think we're going to see them make it.
Well, they are joking, so that's probably a bad sign. Generally for morale, in my experience. Teams that are joking are generally either winning really hard or not winning hard at all. And now RoX Well, they can try. And that was a weird
the
chain.
Cocoon actually lands long range on the Thaldron. I don't think there's going to be any follow-up here, but that was a nice skill shot at the very least coming out of Mashka.
Yes. Well, I guess Aces High might have some mild trouble sieging in, but we saw before it's not as big of an issue as it was for them in Game 1, because they've got the ability to catch people with Binding and Charm and then follow up with Vi and Graves and instantly murder. And obviously when it's a 4v5 or even a 3v5, they can just ignore them and go for the fight.
Ooh, Theocles gets hit by the Cocoon, but that's not the target they were looking for. Alexitch trying to go in. Thaldron is very nearly Mega Gnar, and actually, they did a lot of damage to that tower. It is fairly close to dying. I don't know about the turnaround straight away from Aces High here, though. I feel like they should be backing up. Dragons in 40 seconds. Thaldron is very low, even though he's about to transform. And it would be maybe too big of a risk. Alexitch, he's going in here. Holy Phoenix actually nearly getting picked up there. At this point, they might not get to Dragon in time, unless RoX decides not to leave their base to go for it, which is possible.
They've got no vision, that's the problem. If they walk in, they could be walking into Ari Charm, into Vi Ultimate, to everything, so they can't contest this. And Aces are just going to sit here and wait for it, with the exception of Holy Phoenix, who felt he really needed to go back and get that Bloodthirster right now, rather than help out the team. You know, carries prerogative, I guess.
Well, I mean, it looks like, yeah, it's like you're saying, they're not going to contest this dragon. It's going to go over the way of Aces. And I'm actually starting to get a bit worried for RoX.KIS, but I mean, they're 10k gold down right now, 27 minutes. They're 3, or rather 2 dragons down. And this is their last chance, man. This is all on the line. If they lose this, they're out of LPL. I feel like they really need to step it up somehow, but you know, looking at their vision control, for example, look at that bot lane. That's where all the pressure's been, and yet somehow they don't even have a ward over that wall. I mean, obviously Ace is going to be clearing it out, but you know, you should be throwing so many wards at them that they can't clear it out, I think. Oh, the red buff steal.
Kick in the teeth by Avenue there. And it's important to remember, they do still have a LeBlanc who is 4-1-4, but yeah, the vision control has actually been quite good from Ace so far. And that has not been... It's actually not been how they've played it in either of the 2 previous games. They've just kind of been going wild and just fighting constantly. But this game, nobody saw that. Nobody saw that.
Distortion.
It was erroneous, shall we say, a little bit. Oh, and Damashka's dead.
They might go in here. Avenue is jumping forward as this Holy Phoenix, but good Dark Passage keeping him alive.
Some of the spell awareness is poor. Still, that's going to be a Baron, or should be. And certainly getting started up. RoX, this is how dangerous it is. No vision.
Alexitch got taken down really low in that mid lane. Not sure. Oh, he actually picks it up with the Spirit Fire too. This is very bad news for RoX.KIS. They weren't even contesting this, and somehow they lost a member. And now the Baron's going to go the way of Aces. They're going to rush straight into the jungle of RoX.KIS and start putting some more pressure down. They've certainly got the potential to make something happen here. Noxiac, I doubt he's going to be able to land a good binding or anything like that. Spell Shield is just too good against Morgana at this stage, but there is an open inhibitor in the top lane, and no 4-2-4 now Alexitch to defend this.
Yeah, no way whatsoever. The only thing here that could go wrong for Aces is getting overeager. I could have actually understood it had they made the error of thinking they might be able to actually just finish off that wave, but no. Aces this game have actually played it really careful, really calm, really collected, and they are just squeezing the life out of RoX. It's that simple. And I've got to say, most of it's due to champion select. RoX.KIS's composition and laning matchups that they picked themselves were just really poor.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't really found a way of getting it all to work together yet, whereas Aces High definitely have, and now the siege is coming in, the death sentence does not land. That might be a good opportunity for a turnaround. Vault Breaker being charged up, but not following through. No Dark Binding either. Just using this Baron buff Siege Minion, doing some serious damage, and actually Holy Phoenix quick drawing in there. That was a very, very bold move, but we should expect nothing less from Holy Phoenix, of course. Now the Vault Breaker is going to go through, though. Oh. Great Gnar ultimate picking up 2 people. Raskin falling very quick. Alexitch in the back line getting jumped onto by Theocles. Is going to be able to get away, but Holy Phoenix doing some serious work, chasing him up all the way to the base. That is going to be everyone but Damashka falling. Can he actually deal with Holy Phoenix? I highly, highly doubt it. He's trying to get back to his base. Can he make it? Not quite. Ace going the way of Aces High. And Spuddington, this could be game here. They might be able to go for the Nexus turrets, and if they do get this, this is going to be Aces High into the grand finals of the LPL. Still in it. RoX.KIS, who beat them 2-0 only last week, now falling 2-1, are going to be out of the tournament.
Yes, and that is perhaps going to be a little bit unfortunate for those looking for the illustrious career of Alex Ich to continue into domination of the CIS region. But right now, not looking so fantastic on that front. And in fairness, he played very, very well, but you have to criticize Raskin and Raxo above all else. Damashka maybe didn't have that much pressure. For Fariz, maybe the same. But Raskin and Raxo lost their lane hardcore in 2 of these games, and Holy Phoenix directly had a huge influence on this game thereafter. And they chose weak laners, or at least in the form of Sivir, every single game.
Not only that, but in the 3rd game, they first picked it in their first rotation. They instantly picked the entire lane. And they know that Holy Phoenix is just going to pick Graves, regardless of the Sivir, right? He outplayed her in game 1. Why not assume that could happen again? I definitely agree with you. I think RoX.KIS made some serious errors in champion select, and it definitely bit them in the butt.
Yeah, it really, really did. They picked themselves into a hole, basically, because the LeBlanc early pick, yeah, that's fine, but you had the counter pick. You had second rotations, essentially, on that. Why not save it until you knew what you were up against? Well, apparently that's not something they were interested in. Okay, fair enough. You want to run a LeBlanc? Really, really do? Okay, build an assassin comp around it. How does Sivir fit into this? Well, she gives you the mobility to chase people down, but why not pick someone with more burst, someone with more chase potential in the short term who can catch people out?
Graves, for example?
Yeah, a Graves to take it away from Holy Phoenix, or, you know, even a Corki or a Lucian or something like that. And Thresh fits with that. Okay, sure, fine. But you're, again, letting yourself be counterpicked by Morgana every single time. And it was just this bizarre thing where they seemed to, like, they had these champions they wanted to pick, and they didn't relate it, like, to their composition at all. Like, they didn't think, what is our team comp going to be? They were just like, I want to play this champion, that's what I'm going to play. And they didn't care what they were going to get counterpicked. They were just like, I'm going to pick this champion, and that's when I'm going to play it. Very strange.
All right, well, regardless of the fact that, you know, maybe RoX.KIS did make some missteps there, they have, of course, been playing another tournament right before, so they were very fatigued, but this is going to be our losers bracket finals going over to Aces High. They're going to be moving forward to the grand finals up against Thunderbot Sparta. That's going to be happening in early January. If you want to know exactly when this is happening, it hasn't been organized yet, but if you follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/lowproleague, facebook.com/lowpro.league, and obviously visit our website, lowpl.org. You can find out the information on when that's happening. It's going to be an absolutely crazy game. Commiserations to RoX.KIS, and thank you, Spuddington, for casting with me. Do you want to do a shout out for your Twitter or something like that?
Feel free to follow me on @Spuddington. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for me. And it's been a pleasure casting with you for the first time, Oziglus.
Yeah, no, I've absolutely loved it. And, you know, if you guys want to follow me, I'm @Oziglus. So be sure to check the 2 of us out. Be sure to check out LowPL. And don't forget to tune in for the finals, because it is going to be one heck of a game.
Brushing past, I fade. Just hold on to this warm embrace. Looking out, side by side, we'll stay. Seasons change, still our love remains. Lock in your love. Lock in your love. Lock in your love. Lock in your feel the breeze rushing past my face. Just hold on to this wall.